But even when you speak about...
Yes, sir. You just found it. Intercourse with you. Let's chat.
Welcome to the Intercourse Show. I am your host, Mr. B. Today we have a very exciting show for you. As you know, we discuss a number of different topics ranging from politics, relationships, entertainment, religion, and everything in between. Today, I have some highlights from the Kanye West interview that was done by academics. Apparently, Kanye West is releasing a new line of clothes. It's literally the Black Klan's outfit. I don't exactly know what's going on. I just know that that's how he did the interview for an hour. And in the interview, there's certain points that he highlighted, and it seems as if he took some responsibility for choosing to marry a woman like Kim Kardashian. Now, Kim Kardashian is a very well-known young lady who has made a name for herself, mainly ranging from the sex tape she had with Ray J, but also she has been a pretty savvy business person and is now a billionaire. Kanye West was at the peak of his game, and for whatever reason, even though Kim Kardashian was known for being passed around by different artists, sports enthusiasts, and everything in between, this man decides to marry her and ended up having 3 kids with her. Now, in this interview, he blames Jay-Z for not ever really taking part in supporting his wedding and being there for his children, and he takes shots at Jay-Z. But he also accepts responsibility for choosing a woman like Kim Kardashian, who isn't exactly what most Christian men would choose as a mother figure for their children. So it appears as if he went all in, bearing it all to academics about that decision. So with that said, let's jump right into it.
That was my fault. I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God's plan.
Kanye West making shocking claims in a new interview with DJ Academics.
Y'all gonna pull my kids into y'all, whatever the word is, Illuminati system.
Usually the things that I like the most are controversial to other people.
The nearly 90-minute video posted to X shows the disgraced rapper in black Ku Klux Klan garb, doubling down on his recently ramped up anti-Semitic remarks, using slurs to rant about other rappers, and complaining about being a parent in the public eye.
My kids are celebrities, and I don't have to say so. It's war.
I think after having kids, it just is such a life changer. Our life is so different.
This as reports circulate claiming Kim Kardashian wants to cut off Kanye from their 4 kids, North, Saint, Psalm, and Shy.
Not okay.
Fans have seen how Kanye's controversial comments have hurt Kim in the past as she got real on her reality show.
It sucks, you know, when someone doesn't see how different they are. You'll always hope that you'll see a glimpse of them. And I hope I do.
You know, it's hard. It's like co-parenting. It's really hard, you know? And
you're not co-parenting with just anyone.
Yeah.
For the quietest.
It's something she also opened up about on Angie Martinez's IRL podcast.
I had the best dad, and I had the best memories and the greatest experience. And that's all I want for my kids. As long as they can have that, that's what I would want for them, you know? So if they don't know things that are being said or what's happening in the world, why would I ever bring that energy to them? You know, that's real heavy grown-up that they're not ready to deal with.
Yeah.
Having kids is just, there's no way to describe it, but it's a lot. That's the best way I know how to describe it.
Okay, that was that interview. Okay. So that's a quick glimpse of some of the things that was said in that interview. It seems like Kanye really, really vented on that interview and kind of shared his position and his regrets. There's some other highlights. Let's see if we can pull some up here. Okay, this is a clip with Kanye going at, apparently this summarizes some comments that he had made with Jay-Z and Beyonce, I believe. He was apparently talking about their children. This is the original before his comments with academics.
Okay, so at this point, somebody needs to step in and put Kanye West in his place because he is going too far and causing so much damage from the things he's been saying online. He has been going on these weird rants on Twitter for about 2 months now. It just keeps getting worse and worse with every tweet, and his latest antics might have just landed him in serious trouble with Beyonce. A couple of days ago, Kanye went off on Beyonce and Jay-Z, and no, it wasn't his typical rant about how they think they're better than anyone. No, for some reason, he went after their children, especially their twins, and said some seriously horrible things about them that no parent should ever have to hear from someone they were once friends with. Now, everyone knows that Beyonce is quite chill and doesn't really do the social media dramatics, but it looks like this is the last straw for her because word on the streets is that she is not about to let this slide, and she's determined to finally put Kanye in his place by teaching him a hard lesson. It looks like Kanye just might have bitten off more than he can chew, so let's break down Beyonce's revenge plan. It's still kind of wild how things turned out like this between Kanye, Beyonce, and Jay-Z because they used to have one of the strongest friendships in history, and everyone could see they genuinely cared about each other. For a while, it seemed like nothing could break their bond, but things started unraveling about 10 years ago. A lot of people assumed their fallout was because of Kanye's relationship with Kim Kardashian, but the real issue was Kanye himself and his shenanigans. Honestly, it's not hard to see why Beyonce and Jay-Z would distance themselves from him because Kanye keeps putting their business out there and calling them out publicly for not being the kind of friends he wanted them to be. For instance, during one of his concerts in 2016, Kanye put Beyonce on blast, accusing her of basically buying awards. He claimed that she strong-armed the organizers into giving her the win over him, and even went as far as saying she refused to perform unless she got the award. As time went on, Kanye's rants about them just kept escalating. By 2016, it was pretty clear his friendship with Jay-Z was done for when he publicly called Jay-Z out for not reaching out to him and Kim after her Paris robbery. Oh, and I know y'all remember what Kanye West said about Jay-Z in 2022 when he claimed that Jay-Z and Beyonce allegedly took people out and that they were being controlled.
They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. You appreciate
Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. Truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Kanye has been wilding for a long time, and honestly, it's something of a miracle that Beyonce has mostly ignored him until now. If you're wondering why they're suddenly sitting up and taking action, it's because he came for their children unprovoked, claiming that there's something wrong with her twins. He tweeted, "Wait, has anyone ever seen Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids? No, like literally, and this is why artificial insemination is a blessing. Having children is a choice." He ended up deleting the tweets after a while, but he then made it clear that the only reason he deleted them was that he didn't want his Twitter account flagged for violating the policies and that he wasn't sorry or remorseful for what he said. He tweeted, "I need everyone to know that I took the post about Jay-Z and Beyonce's family down and Jerry Lorenzo's family down because there was a possibility of my Twitter being canceled, not because I'm a good person. Now Jay-Z and Beyonce on the other end, F them and their entire family." That was just so unnecessarily cruel, especially to innocent children who have done nothing to him. What makes this even worse is that he knows that there have been a lot of hateful comments directed towards Beyonce's kids, especially Sir, because she prefers to keep him out of the public eye. In an interview with Vogue, Beyonce opened up about her difficult pregnancy with the twins, saying, "I was 218 pounds the day I gave birth to Rumi and Sir. I was swollen from toxemia and had been on bed rest for over a month. My health and my baby's health were in danger, so I had an emergency C-section. We spent many weeks in the NICU. I was in survival mode and did not grasp it all until months later. After the C-section, my core felt different. It had been major surgery. Some of your organs are shifted temporarily and in rare cases removed temporarily during delivery. I am not sure everyone understands that. I needed time to heal, to recover. Plus, I know y'all remember how hard some grown adults bullied Blue when she was just a baby, calling her hair nappy, saying she was ugly and all that. Child, she's 13 and the mean comments still haven't stopped, so it shouldn't be surprising that Beyonce wants to protect the twins from all that negativity. A couple of months ago, people started talking about how she seems even more protective of Sir. He wasn't at Beyonce's halftime performance or her Good Morning America interview for the Lion King movie. Blue Ivy and Rumi were at the interview, but not him.
Proud of her. Somebody wants to join.
He also didn't attend the Super Bowl with Blue and Rumi, and all sorts of conspiracies were flying around, from talks about how he supposedly has autism or how Beyonce is ashamed of him because he supposedly has some sort of disability. It has been a lot. Beyonce and Jay-Z have kept their lips sealed and never even mentioned him, which only made people more curious. Fans couldn't help but wonder why we barely see him at all. While Blue Ivy has been front and center at award shows and even performed on stage, and Rumi has made a few appearances here and there, Sir remains a mystery. Some think Beyonce and Jay-Z are just being extra protective of him, while others speculate that there's more to the story than we know. But Beyonce's mom, Miss Tina Knowles, wasn't going to sit back and let folks run with their own narratives, and she's been trying to set the record straight, insisting that people have it all wrong when it comes to Sir. According to her, there's no mystery, no drama. He's just a private child who isn't interested in fame or the spotlight. Tina, who has always been very close with her grandkids, decided to open up a little about Sir's personality, giving fans a rare glimpse into what he's actually like. In an interview she shared, Sir is a very, very smart child. He likes numbers and he's very low-key. She made it clear that unlike his sisters who seem to enjoy a bit more of attention, Sir prefers to stay in his own world, focus on things that truly interest him.
What does that mean to you? Tell us a little bit about Rumi and how excited you are.
Rumi is amazing. She's an amazing artist, like painter and creator. And so, I mean, how could they be anything else growing up in that environment? That's all we talk about is creativity and fashion and the whole thing.
What is Sir interested in?
Sir is very quiet and is very, very smart and does all of the number stuff. So he's not into the fashion stuff as much.
So from the sounds of it, Beyonce and Jay-Z are just respecting their child's wishes, which is something that every good parent should do. Plus, it's kind of hypocritical of Kanye to call them out over this when he has been fighting his ex Kim Kardashian for putting North out there, saying that he wants more privacy for North and for her to grow up without the spotlight. But when Beyonce does the same thing for her child, it's because he has a disability. Child, the hypocrisy is strong with this one. Well, it looks like Beyonce is not about to let this slide because she is considering taking legal action against him. According to Page 6, Jay-Z and Beyonce find it shocking that Kanye West attacked their two youngest children in a disgusting all-caps rant via X on Tuesday evening. The couple will absolutely not stand for it after the stronger rapper has spoken about their children in such a vulgar and offensive manner. Jay-Z and Beyonce are aware of the post Kanye has since deleted and are discussing how they want to handle this situation, whether that be privately and or in a legal manner. Fans had all the smoke for Kanye and they commented, "No matter how you feel about Beyonce, this is disgusting. Not to mention he put his own daughter on a song with Diddy. He's clearly mentally deranged. I am sick of all the excuses being made for Kanye. He called Beyonce's children the R word, claiming George Floyd died of fentanyl, and said slavery was a choice. What is it going to take for you guys to hold this man accountable?" And remember when Kanye was on stage crying because Jay-Z and B wouldn't let North go on play dates with Blue? Now he's saying the most vile things about their children. I really wish Beyonce and Jay-Z were who y'all want them to be. Some people really deserve to go missing. Anywho, y'all tell me how y'all feel about Kanye's disgusting tweets. So drop your thoughts in the comments and then check out this next video.
Okay, that was the clip. All right, so this actually came out about a week before he did the interview with Academics, and I actually think this young lady did a decent job kind of summarizing all the back and forth that's been going on. I don't really stay too much in this gossip world type thing with celebrities. It's not really my speed, but a lot of people are talking about it. This is one of the things they want me to weigh in on, so I'll definitely try my best to do that. Now, on Kanye's side, I think, judging what I got from the interview that he did with Academics, I'll try to see if I can find some clips. I think the only clips I have is the full hour and a half long interview. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna try to truncate that a little bit. But in terms of him making comments about Jay-Z and Beyonce's children, I don't think that's necessary at all. At all. I think that is a line crossed. And I think to some extent they for the most part, to their credit, have to their best not gone in on Kanye, not attacked him. I think there are some speculation that Kanye is not all the way wired right mentally. He's stressed out. There's a number of things going on internally with him. I think it's still affecting him to this day. The fact that his mom passed some years ago. I don't know that he feels like he has any family. I mean, I think that was a common theme that I was hearing in the interview with academics, where he was essentially saying he doesn't have any family. And it seems like the people he latches on to, or he seeks that brotherhood or that connection or that family connection with, tend to turn their back or betray him. So I think that's some valid grounds that he has. He talked about his friend Virgil and how, a lot of these brands and company forces outside of his control were essentially working to lure people that were close to him away from him, and then having those people compete against him or go against him. He talked about John Legend. He talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce. He talked about Pusha T. He talked about, some other designers and people that was in his camp earlier, but ended up going to work for big brands. And I think academics really kind of hit it on the head. He said at its core, what's affected Ye the most has been betrayal. He seems to lash out when he feels betrayed by the people he loves, or he's seeking validation or approval from. And I think there's a part of that from a human standpoint that, you can find some sympathy for the guy if he feels like he's isolated and doesn't really have family. And now the only family he has, the biological family he has with this lady who's a major celebrity and have a lot of influence, is now being ripped apart from him. So if he was on the brinks of losing it, he's totally losing it. And that's just a grieving father. So I do think, I don't know if Jay-Z and Beyonce would ever see this particular video, but I do think that, sometimes it's not worth arguing in the public square over things like this, especially since Kanye is not really in a position to be argued with, right? Like, this is a guy who's kind of lashing out from internal battles he's having. It's probably best that it gets left alone. I commend the Carters for protecting their children. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think everyone should have the right to do that. And, if there are personal things with their child, I think that's really kind of nobody's business. I mean, these people are entertainers, but they're also human beings. They do deserve, some space to live their private lives. And I think sometimes we go too deep trying to get into people's lives and speculate about what's going on with their kids and stuff like that. I don't really want to get into that type of thing. But from what I heard from Kanye, it does sound like he's a man who's frustrated, who's really on the brinks of a breakdown, and is calling out for help. So what I would say is pray for him, man. Pray for Kanye. Pray that God helps him regain his composure, regain his sense of peace. I do think there's a part of him that is crying out for help. And we could join the chorus of people throwing rocks at the man, or we can try to be sympathetic and just lift him up in prayer. And for anybody, man, who's going through stuff, get some therapy, seek God. These are the moments where it's best to go and find God and figure out, how to, to reset and rejuvenate your spirit, especially when you feel empty. So that would be my advice. Obviously, I think there's a few other summaries. There's one more summary I'm seeing here about this particular topic that I'll go ahead and play. Let me just, I'll cue it up right now as we speak.
He did.
Right. There you have it. I mean, I think I've gotten 3 different perspectives. This is what the reaction to Kanye West's interview has been from regular YouTube influencers to the more mainstream voices that you typically hear from the Breakfast Club, kind of summarizing, you know, what that interview looked like. Obviously, people are talking about it, so I think they weighed in on it for that reason. But, you know, with everything said, man, look, I'm not going to be one of those guys just throwing rocks. That dude needs prayer, so I'm going to pray for him. And I encourage others to do the same. I mean, there's a lot of people who go out, accomplish a lot of great things that the world celebrates them for, but in the end, they're miserable inside. In the end, they're lonely. In the end, they're depressed. In the end, some of them are suicidal. And so for the people who think that money is going to solve all your problems, it isn't. You know, if anything, it amplifies your problems. You know, if you're, you know, empty and hollow inside, you know, having a lot of money will definitely amplify those characteristics about you. And so, you know, be balanced in terms of how you define success. Success is not just climbing to the top of the mountain, making all this money, and then expecting everything to be peaches and cream. To me, a successful person is a person who can have good, meaningful relationships, who can, you know, accomplish goals, who can do stuff that makes God proud, and who can, you know, impact the lives of others. To me, that's how I define success. I've had to redefine it over the years. You know, and sometimes I think, you know, society and the television and all these different things will try to define success for you and show you this is what success should be depicted as. This is how you should act if you want to be successful, and this is what you should do. You know, this is the cool crowd, and this is that, and this is that. And in the end, they all need Jesus. You know what I mean? So I'm not here to bash Kanye. It's clear and evident that something's going on with him. I'm not here to bash anybody else. You know, I would just encourage people to keep him in prayer, and you know, hopefully, you know, things work out in his life, and then things get better for the man. All right, that's it for me tonight. Thank you guys for joining us for the show. You know, if you're not already subscribed, we ask that you like and subscribe, weigh in, share this video, you know, start the conversation, make sure your voice be heard. All right, until we speak again, Jesus is King. Choose him. God bless.
Right now, whole lot chit chat, can't do that, settle down, pipe down. On the kitchen floor in the church sauce, young Mike moonwalk. Always been a star in the sky, you did not get tuned out. Hey, yeah, I'm flashing, yeah, yeah. Not ratchet, hey, yeah. Quick flip it, yeah, yeah. Big mattress, hey, yeah. Don't ask, hey, yeah. We taxing, hey, yeah. New address, hey, yeah. Can't move backwards. Hold on, yeah, 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 you know me. Late night, all night, don't need no sleep. Hey, hold on, okay now, don't know, don't speak. Hey, get down, whole click down. On God, on now with the business, ain't no feelings, ain't no dreaming. Yeah, loud when I whip it, I ain't turning down the speakers. No, eyes bloodshot, I've been burning out the daylight too. I got responsibilities, so I can play with you.